Hello and welcome to Making Comics and Art, episode 82. Today is the Tuesday push, and with good reason because I got a lot on my plate and I'm trying to chip away at it. I have a lot of things to talk about, something specifically regarding the future of retro. But I'll get to that in a moment. Um, Before you see a page I haven't touched, I think this is pretty much the last page I haven't thrown down any inks on. Um, it's a little close up, but there's a menacing figure in the background that Retro doesn't notice. Um, and yeah, we'll get to meet him in issue 1. It's a character I have specific ideas about. So let me do this. All right. Okay, so this is a fun thing. A fan of mine made up a print, and this is something he's done for other comic creators and people working in comics. He's done it a couple of times, and he showed me those, and I worked with him to get some decent arrangement going on here. So the goal was to have all covers I worked on, but I didn't do this cover and I didn't do this cover, but I worked on the inside of both. So let me explain. Obviously, if you know me and you know my work, I'm mostly known for my work on Aquaman. Did about 24 issues, not in a row, but over my run over Jim Cowfury's pencils, Peter David writing at the time. That was the Hook era. And so he's got 1, 2, 3, and those are Aquaman covers I inked. I inked a bunch, and I don't know, maybe he could have filled it up with Aquaman alone, but he wanted to throw in some other stuff. So this was a cover I inked over Bill Tucci, who mostly, inks himself, but I got an opportunity. This was one of them. Another was a Razor Razor Annual with She in it that I inked the last 6-8 pages of that story. But love Bill. Knew him from way back. We still keep in touch, and I was on his show with Billy and Niles last year, or the year before. I forget now. 2019, I think. I don't know. It feels like yesterday. Anyway, this was a War Machine cover. Once again, I inked over Jim Cowfury. Jim Cowfury actually did a redesign of War Machine that Marvel picked. It didn't last long, but he did do that, and that's before his Exiles run, X-Men title. This I was honored to ink a Deadpool cover, and that was a lot of fun. Also over Jim Cowfury. I inked a lot of other people during my 3 years, 4 years, whatever it was, working up at Marvel. They threw me a lot of random stuff, and most, if not all of it, was after my Aquaman stuff run. I went to Marvel, and Yeah, it was all X-Men related. So, um, ink this. I mean, except for War Machine's not X-Men, but I inked Uncanny X-Men. I inked Wolverine. I inked um, Cable, Gambit. Not th- This is Battle Books. This is something else entirely. I should have mentioned. Um, yeah, just a lot of X-Men related titles. There was 8 or 12 titles at the time. Um, but this was actually my first Marvel work. I inked a couple of pages of the Iron Fist story in this. Um, I think it's not on the cover. It's on the back cover, I think. Iron Fist. Love Iron Fist, so it was greatly pleased. So that was. I'm not, I, I think this is pretty much my first Marvel work. I did a couple of random things um, initially before I got my DC work, and this was one of them. And I did a couple of pages from Punisher Annual and Punisher, I want to say Warzone, um, before I was also doing independent work. Anyway, this isn't exactly a timeline, um, but this is here because this is my first full ink job. Obviously, I didn't do the cover, but I inked the entire issue inside. And this was Personality Comics, the original crew. So it had all the actors and their life story. So this was all about DeForest Kelly. So that was really neat. I wasn't a huge fan at this point, but I grew to love Star Trek more and more. Um, I'm more a fan of Star Trek now than I was then. But I watched the original crew in reruns when it was on back in the 60s. So yeah, that was my first full job. I forget, and if I ask my brother, he probably forgets, but my first official paid inking gig was something we shared credit on, me and Jimmy. And that was for, I think it was a backup story and like a 2-story issue thing, some fantasy kind of Conan-ish uh, independent book way back when. So, um, yeah, this was my first gig. Anyway, uh, I went a lot longer on this, but he sent me 2 copies, one for me to keep and one to do a sketch and send it back to him. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an Aquaman sketch, this Aquaman, and mail him back that. So he paid for the shipping and he paid for my sketch on there. So really awesome for him to do this. I wish I did more cover work in my career, but honestly, I've done more interior work and random pinup work. A lot of random pinups through Image that I never saw copies of because stuff was hard to find back in the day before the internet. Before I get to this, before I get to inking, um, something very important showed up the other day, and that is my Rotring. I think it's pronounced. I heard other people pronounce it as such. Sent me this, and this is the last of my art supplies that I ordered recently. I said before I ordered 300 um, over just over $300 worth of art supplies. I showed off a bunch of brushes I got the other day, and this is the last piece of the puzzle. This is something I desperately needed. Um, these are slightly different. What's the one I use? Okay, so I've always used this. I have always used that, and I never used these. I always used orange, which is a 1.0, and I believe this is a 1.5. I'm not going to take it out of this little contraption, but it comes with a bunch of extra goodies. But now I can ink buildings going forward. And I see we have Nefarious hang out with me. Welcome, dude. That is the coolest cover poster, bro. Yeah, it's a dynamite idea. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody else do that sort of thing, but that's a cool idea. The only thing that would have made it even cooler, because he's sticking to a certain format, but would be to have my like actual signature up above. But yeah, this is dynamite, and I'll even do a little sketch for myself in the middle there, and hang it up on my wall because I don't have enough hanging up on my walls. But yeah, so the last bit of news before I get into some inking, I'm not going to do a tremendous amount. But I was talking to Marsha Lee of Donkey Draw Projects, and he's had a kind of hard year last year, and he's recently sort of shifted direction with what he's doing, and he colored a couple of pages of retro. He he messaged me after I lost my initial colorist. If you go to my Kickstarter page, I had an original colorist lined up to color the whole issue and series. But unfortunately, he dropped the ball, and Marshall stepped in, being a friend, and said he would color it for me to save me from hiring somebody else and paying out some more money, because I paid the initial colorist for what he did. Anyway, so Marshall colored a batch of pages, 3 or 4, I believe, and I asked him about the cover recently, and he seemed a little reluctant. I know he's done a 190. So it all comes down to, he said he's really heading in a different direction. So a lot of his comic projects are up in the air, or maybe, I don't know. That's for him to talk on. But, as far as him working on retro, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So, I've already had in mind that I would be coloring the book from issue 2 on. And I could use the pages he's done, but I have a very slightly different mindset on how it should be colored. So I am going to be the colorist of my series, as well as writer and inker and penciler, starting with issue 2 on. So yeah, I'm going to be calling retro. It is going to be done in a very 80s Marvel comic coloring style. Um, and I left my things on. Oh. Oh. I meant to do stuff before I started the stream. Anyway, let me log out. I got, I'm connected it with a few Discords, and I don't know if you heard that, but they're chatting in there. Anyway, did you lose me? Shoot. I'm failing. Okay, there I am. Yes, okay, we're working. He says, retro looking dope. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I mentioned this before. I don't know if Nefarious was in the room, but he's part of Global Frequency with his friend Garrett. And I gotta, you gotta send me Garrett's Instagram. I know you got a Global Frequency Instagram, but if Garrett's got a separate one, I want to check it out. Anyway, I liked a picture. He did some fan art on his Instagram recently, and I liked it, and said we should collab, and we'll see if that happens. Yeah, because he does great work, and I love to ink as many artists as I possibly can, which is part of my goal. Yes, we're going to do a collab. Excellent, excellent. I was watching a friend of mine who's currently doing 600 sketches in a sketchbook over the next 15 days. I think he's on day 4 today. And I was watching him a bit. That's Chris of Chris Makes Comics on YouTube. And I didn't ask him, but he drew he drew a picture of Retro while I was watching as one of his sketches. And that was sketch 101 if you want to go check it out. And I said, I'll ink that for fun. If you want me to. And he was like, cool, yeah, I'll send it to you when I get a chance. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll probably post that on my Instagram and share it out to you. So yeah, with my paragraphs now, I think what I'm going to do is I got to set them up, make sure they got ink in them, and they're all working, and I'm going to start inking backgrounds. And in fact, unless I run into some challenges, I think what I'm going to do going forward is ink stuff in order. So, I'm trying to really get more focused about not only what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it, and how I'm pacing myself. I'm streaming here only weekdays now. And I want to bring a lot more clarity and effectiveness to all that I do. So I think I'm going to ink pages in order. And while there are, there's still plenty of brush and quill work on pages. Part of my previous challenge was that my Repeatiographs technical pens were crapping out. And now that I got a new set, I could finally do things in order without stopping. So then you'll have a much better idea of where exactly I'm at, and possibly how far ahead I am to finishing. Like I said, it will be this year. And not rushing myself just to get it out. Because I want it to be very, very good. This is a huge career change for me, to not only get one of my own characters out, but start self-publishing retro and many other books that will follow. So I want to do it right. As far as coloring, like once inking is done, and I imagine unless I run into real roadblocks, I should be done with the inking next month. I wonder if is next month a short month or a regular month for February, because every 4 years it's longer, something like that. Anyway, we'll see. Nefarious says it's smart play to ink stuff in order. Feels rewarding getting things done closer to finish before adding more material to the schedule. Yes, indeed. I mean, like most of my career, that's the way I did it. I haven't jumped around as much as I've been these past bunch of years. So it feels good going back to that format. I mean, that's when I was a lot more effective in what I was doing. So I need to get back to that rhythm. But yeah, as far as coloring, I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream and color, because unless of course I move, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Yeah, and I don't think my internet slash computer could handle it. So I'll have to see. Maybe I'll take on whatever is next that I could share here. And I do have some stories. I'll be doing issue 0 retro. I'll be doing a backup story for a book called Arena that I'll be publishing. So, I could show progress within the streams of where I'm at and how it's going. So, be able to at least do that. So yeah, I'm stoked. So even though it's it's sad to not have Marshall be a part of retro, I'll still add him in the credits, because what he did by offering his services right after I lost my initial colorist, is he really gave me a kick in the pants as far as making sure I make progress on retro. Slow or not, it's important to move your projects forward. And He definitely did that for me, and I wish him great success in whatever twists and turns his artistic creative journey takes. Um, so that's where all that is. uh, I guess another thing I'll mention is, you know, I I currently have my kitty cats locked away in a cage. Um, it's something I hate doing. It's just, I don't know, whatever, you know, whatever it is about me, but because I don't have the separate room, it's the only way to keep them out of my hair while I'm getting work done. Um, they earlier this morning they were outside, so they got a chance to run around. And honestly, they spend a good part of the day sleeping anyway, and that's 100% the truth. Because they're cats, and that's what cats do. Um, let's see. I might need to. Okay, because this is a little bit adjustable. Um, the frame, the frame of what I'm showing isn't always going to be exactly the same, which is okay. Um, this is a lot better than my previous side angle, I've been told. Um, so yeah, even though like mentally I have issues with caging my cats up, um, it's only in the short term. It might be a couple of months, might be 6 months, but um, I play with them enough in the morning and in the evenings. And now, because I'm really focused on just working during the week, the whole weekend is they get to run around and goof around with me. So it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. There's something else that dawned on me. Okay, so I have lots of little things I want to get accomplished this week and during the day. Like, one of the things is post office, and I got a bunch of different things to take care of. That poster being one of them. And I'll probably go to the post office a couple of times, maybe twice this week, and I'll do more next week. But I got stuff to mail out. For other people. I got an inking gig that, some pages I inked previously, he said to hold on to, and now, now that he has possibly more work coming my way, then he's like, okay, mail those to me, and then I'll get you more work. So I got to do that. And I got some orders to fulfill. And yeah, I'm like trying to bet my best to keep on top of everything. And just as a reminder, those that won retro sketches, I will get to those. I don't know. I guess it's looking more like next week. I got business to take care of this week, that's also business, but hey, you know what I mean. Just a lot going on. Oh, and I did pay my internet bill, so I won't be turned off anytime soon, at least for another month. Things are tight. Things are tight at the moment, but it will work itself out. And Nefarious has lots more to say. What's going on? All right, so Garrett's doggo hangs out in the crate when we're working in the studio, so I know what you mean. It's not that big a deal, and they're lucky to have you as their cat daddy. Yeah, it's just a mental thing I gotta just push out of my brain, I guess. Our cat just kind of lies there in the sun and only asks for attention when it's food time. That, and she races around the house at night when it turns crazy cat o'clock. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's like I've tried on many occasions, and my cats are more than willing to hang out with me, specifically at a distance, but it's not 100% of the time. And I can't, I can't cope with a maybe. So they're going to have to get used to the new system. I mean, hell, it's a better life than all the strays that I feed outside. They get the warmth of a home and comfort of my bed and my chairs and all the places for them to hang out, all the ups. They love hanging out above my cabinets and on top of my fridge and on top of my dresser and every kind of nook and cranny. Oh, one of their favorite spots is my laundry basket, especially when there's laundry to be washed in there. I guess it's comforting for them to smell me, even if I'm not there. But yeah, it's like I've had cats go just stupid insane and jump on me when I'm making videos in the past, and it's just I can't. So that's my solution until there's a better one. Yeah, so it's like I'm intent here to be much better than last year, knowing that we're probably not getting out of the pandemic anytime soon, and just working around it as best I can. And one of the reasons also that I'm sort of breaking it down into going there multiple times to the post office is, man, simply for exercise. And I used to walk around all the time. I've gotten spoiled by having people drive me around more than ever in my life. When I lived in New York, I took buses and trains and car service, but still I wound up walking 20 or 30 blocks every time I went into the city. Now it's become really bad. It's like, unless there's real purpose to having to go somewhere, I usually just pace around the apartment at the most. So I'm making sure to find more reasons to get out of the house and walk somewhere specifically. There is a a couple of paths in town that I haven't checked out yet for all the years I've been here, that I'm interested in incorporating maybe on the weekend. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happier because I'm more focused on exactly what I'm doing, what I want to accomplish. I've sort of broke things down to the first quarter of the year, and once April is done, then I'll see where I'm at and apply it to the next quarter. But yeah, I want to make more art. I want to finish comic projects. I want to finish my inking gigs with other people. And I want to be a lot more effective in everything I do. Same old, same old. And Nefarious, otherwise known as Aaron, by the way. Yeah, it's rough going into the city due to the pandemic. The isolation of this whole thing has gotten to a lot of people's getting back to nature is a good idea, though. Maybe you'll get inspired by something. Absolutely. And we have somebody new, at least a name I don't recognize. Wintry. Wyntry. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I understand that. Need to get out and about, looking for walking trails. Ending up gaining weight due to the pandemic. I guess having a desk job doesn't help. Pounds look awesome, bro. Well, thank you for checking it out, and thanks for enjoying what you're seeing here. These pencils I'll mention are by my friend Rich Fuchsia, who has penciled the first issue of My Creation Retro, but has gone on to dabbling in painting, specifically oil painting, and he's really, really good at it. So I will be penciling the book with issue 2 going forward. And I'm decent, but I have a lot to learn. So I'm sort of also currently in training mode, making sure not only to draw more, but to actually learn as I go. And most of what I need to learn is like the fundamental stuff. It's I can make, being an inker for, it'll be September. It'll be 30 years in September. So I can make any crappy drawing look good, but I want it to be more not real, like, because I love, like, John Byrne is not, his anatomy is not authentic. Todd McFarlane, I can name so many, but I want it to be closer than what I got going on currently, and just, more of a knowledge of where it's not correct, and more style will be helpful in the actual execution. So and Aaron says, yeah, putting on the weight was an unfortunate side effect of sitting indoors all the time. Welcome, Wintry. Yes, indeed. Welcome. If you're not already subscribed, give this video a like, become a Patreon, and all that jazz. Okay. did my salesman thing very fast. Um, but yeah, you know, like I thought last year I was heavy, but I'm actually the heaviest I've ever been. For the majority of my life, I've kept on my sort of high school, college weight, which was around, I want to say 180, give or take. And now I'm much more than that. And I don't look at it unless you look at my stomach. Although, I do know, like, if I do lose 20 or 30 pounds, it will probably show up on my face too. But, so I don't, most people don't see my face on a regular basis anyway. I I need to work on some fundamentals as well. Got a Michael Hamilton book on a few others. Yep. Already subscribed, but boom, there's a like. Awesome. Yeah, I don't recognize Michael Hampton. Michael Hampton. Michael Hampton. Uh, Maybe I've seen his work and just don't recognize the name. But it's like Jesus Christ. I have had a stack of art books. Maybe not the best ones, but good ones. For like forever, and they're just sitting on my shelf. Much like a lot of other things that I haven't read yet. It's like, why buy shit if you're not gonna use it? So yeah, I'm if I have to force myself, I'm gonna force myself. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's like, you know, I want to improve and get better and do magical stuff with my art and get to the next level. Um, I proved to myself in the last couple of years by just keeping up drawing that I really like where the direction my artwork is taking. And you can follow me on Instagram. Everywhere in the URL, it's Peter Palmiotti. A lot of places like here and Facebook and Twitter. You'll see my name as Peter Retro Palmiotti because I'm just trying to promote my character Retro, of course. But in the URL, it's still just Peter Palmiotti. So I guess what I'm saying is it's easy to track me down. But yeah, it's like I'm trying to keep these streams to a shorter length. So what I'm saying is like 30 minutes, give or take. And because a couple of them were shorter, I guess I felt obliged to go a little longer today, and I had reason to because I had a lot. I wanted to get my mouth out, get out of my mouth. So yeah, so keep everybody updated on what kind of progress is happening at the moment with my book and what to expect upcoming. If you didn't catch it and you're just watching the end of this episode for some reason, I got the last of my art supplies that I ordered earlier this month, and I'm so happy. So I got my repair graphs, I got brushes, I got ink cartridges for the repair graphs, and some other stuff, and some goodies too. I got a small whiteboard. I don't need a huge one. Just I'm a visual person, and It's not even that I'm using it a lot, but I put down some notes there for me to remind me of just keep with things, keep focused, and keep working on a few things ongoing. You know, um, one of the things I'm doing is reading more, um, and that's because it's like I already consider myself a writer. I've written some stuff. Um, I don't have finished work with my writing, but I've been writing since I've been online, which you could pretty much say everybody's a writer now. Um, but yeah, it's like I've attempted a number of novels to where I've written thousands of words, and I know I'm a decent writer. But you could always improve upon skills. My biggest strength is inking, of course. So I want to build up my other skills to meet that. And, may take me a little while, but I'll get there. And especially working with other creators um, will speed up the process because, Retro is the first book of many. And I'm working with a number of other artists that also allows me as inker to um, ink other artists. It's sort of my whole excuse for my, publishing company. The opportunities I didn't get at the big two, I'm developing myself. And Wintry says, not sure on the other social media if I followed, but I think I started following when I did 100 Days of Comics way back when. Oh, okay. Yep. I was part of the group. I did a story for their last anthology. That group isn't what it used to be, but I think Scott Serklin is trying to bring it back to life. Personally, I can't afford to do challenges. I got too much work. But it's a great, great, great challenge to at least try once. Failed finishing, but multiple attempts. Yeah, it's like my first attempt was successful. The I don't even know, 4 or 5 other times I tried to attempt it, I failed miserably. But it's a good challenge. It's a really good challenge. Um, nice. Always loved getting art supplies. Yeah, man. This is the most I've spent in probably the last decade. Because I'm traditional and um, really, it's only really been about brushes and rapidoglyphs and quills. Um, Previous to just last year, I wasn't even printing out blue lines. I would ask the publisher or the artist or whoever I was working with to do it and then ship it out to me. But now I was gifted with a new printer. Um, so I'm taking full advantage of that. So it's more time on my part. It's more work on my part, but it will also, in the long run, give me more opportunity. Because I would be like, I'll ink it, but only if I get the original pencils to ink. And now I'm like, well, I do whatever. So So yeah, just the more open you are, the more work you could possibly get. And definitely my goal is to be, this year overall is to really just accomplish a lot of what has already been started, as sad as that might seem. um, I have things on my shelf that have been years in the making. Um, but that's the result of some projects, a lot of projects I have been doing with other people where I'm not paid, but it's an opportunity I can't possibly pass up, and trying to make a living on top of getting those things done. Well, some of that might actually see the light of day this year, which I'm super excited about. I want my goal to be like a dozen books published this year. Might not see anything before April, but and hopefully they come out not all at once. But I don't control everything. I just get my job done. I could pace how my books come out. But yeah, right now I'm just, of my own books, I'm just focused on retro right now. But I'm also inking stuff for other people. I got commissions. I got blah blah blah. So yeah, I guess this was a long episode. But a much worthwhile episode. And yeah, going forward, I'm going to be finishing page by page. So this is a much later page in the book. This is page 25 of 28. So going forward, I think the page I couldn't finish was page 5 or page 6, one of those, that had some background buildings that I needed my rapidograph to finish off. I'm not like Al Williamson, for those that know who I'm talking about. He did, I think, much like Mobius, he did his inks by hand, where, but, Rich is very rigid with his background buildings and stuff, and I wanted to make it as tight as possible. So I decided to go rapidograph. Now, I might be open, once I start doing the art, to do more freehand backgrounds and stuff. We shall see. And Wintry says, nothing wrong with finishing what started. I am having trouble starting most days. Michael Hampton made a figure drawing book based off of Hampton and older figure drawing books. I will definitely look into him. Like I said, I might know. I mean, there's, back in the day, there were like 5 different figure drawing books. Now there's like 20 billion. And really cool to see the process, though, even if it isn't finished just yet. Yeah, process is always fun. I enjoy watching other YouTubers work on their art and comics and paintings and everything. I mean, I'm a big fan of that, which is why I'm here, at all, I guess. And sorry, Bridgman Loomis books. Yes, I know about them for sure. There is a lot of books. Yep. there are a ton now. and with publishing made so much easier, and people can get stuff digitally. I still like having the actual book in hand, and that's why I have a stack of art books myself, and I plan to get a lot more, if not them all, you know, because I'm greedy like that, and I just like to have them in hand. But yeah, thanks again for you guys watching it live. If you're watching this later, thank you. I appreciate everybody who checks out my videos. Go watch all my past ones. I have over 600 videos on my channel. I'm not the most slick YouTuber, but I do drop some good knowledge here and there, as well as I have had plenty of comic people and artists come on for interviews and just hanging out, working, and they have dropped bombs of knowledge. So definitely go review a lot of my old videos, and thanks again. And Nefarious says, thanks for the stream. Most definitely enjoyed hanging out. Awesome. And nice meeting y'all. Nice meeting you, sir. Thanks again. Yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. And I'm here Monday through Friday now. So be sure to hit that bell